You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 52 of the Battered MLS Fans Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Ganada, and alongside me, I got two other battered MLS fans from my left to your right. Let's start with Mr. Will, MLS Moves. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm glad that the battered MLS is back, ready to talk some standings with you guys. Get into a little bit, maybe get a little scrappy. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm glad to join you guys, and can't wait to talk some MLS.
Absolutely. And Chris, how you doing, sir?
Halfway through the season, did you expect San Diego to be in the second place on the West? It's going to be a fun conversation today.
It is going to be interesting for sure. And shout out to your daughter. Congratulations on her graduation yesterday.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure I
totally forgot to mention that.
Yeah. So shout out to her. All right. So like Chris was saying, some surprises, some disappointments. Let's start with the disappointments first. And Will, out of all the teams that have disappointed, because there have been a few, which would you say is the biggest disappointment? I think I know where you're going to go, but just out of curiosity, what do you think is the biggest disappointment of all the teams so far?
I think the biggest disappointment in Major League Soccer in 2025 has to be Atlanta United. They spent $50 million in the last 12 months, and they're like in 13th place in the Eastern Conference. They finally got a win after a long drought of going winless. But when you spend that kind of money and then almost $30 million on a striker, and he really isn't the game changer he needs to be, like when I don't know what you guys think about $30 million striker in Major League Soccer, but when I think of that, I'm thinking something you've never seen before, like dude scoring crazy amounts of goals, and he's been just kind of mid. And there's been excuses from Atlanta fans saying, oh, he doesn't have enough chances created for him. He just, the surrounding talent's bad. But when you're getting paid that kind of money in Major League Soccer, you're supposed to be the guy who lifts everyone else up, not have everybody around you lift you up. So I think he's been a huge disappointment. I think Ronnie Dyla has been a big disappointment. A lot of people were skeptical about him. I know you had a short tie in New York City FC. You weren't a fan when he was there, but a lot of fans
he won the chip.
Yeah, well, a lot of fans were still skeptical about him, even though he did win the chip because of just like the fortunate events that kind of led him to getting that
championship. Yeah,
COVID championship, right? So they just been an absolute disaster, and especially with that kind of money spent, I don't think there's been a bigger flop this year in 2025 than they have.
I'm going to disagree with you, but I'm going to go to Chris first. Chris, your biggest disappointment so far this year?
Strangely, I'm going to go with FC Dallas. The reason I'm going to go with them is because Lucho Acosta, you get him and you think, okay, well, he can be able to keep the team competitive. To me, he's been kind of a disappointment. I mean, he was able to be competitive last season with Cincinnati, and now that he has, his time with FC Dallas halfway through the season, he's out of the top 9 spot. Dallas is an 11 spot on the Western Conference. So that team to me has been a pretty big disappointment.
I had two that I wanted to mention, but one is, I think, obvious, the Galaxy, just because you go from champs to winning your first game in the 16th, 17th game of the season. Like, I understand that because Push was injured, you thought that they wouldn't do as well, but I thought that, and there goes Edgar, shout out to Edgar, I thought that their performance was really disappointing because even though Push was injured, I didn't expect them to be this bad. So I thought that was disappointing. But to me,
there were so many other players that were that were injured too.
No, but like, come on, like for a short periods of time, like Peck was still healthy, then Paintsel came back, and then Peck went down. But like, still, like their core roster was still there. Like, I was just surprised. But to me, my biggest disappointment, far and away, is Charlotte. I don't know what the hell happened to Charlotte. I predicted that they would end up being the first or second in the East. And for a while, I was like, I'm going to be good on this prediction. And then things just went crashing down. Now, I was with you, Will, not too long ago, last time we were here together. And I was telling you that I thought Saha didn't play that well. Oh, no, it wasn't with you.
No, it was, you were saying you thought Pep Biel was the MVP of the team.
Yes. And I didn't think that Saha was playing that well. And everything is falling apart. We had Danny Brams on here with us. He was telling us how Dean Smith, and I think you might have even said it also, that like the best coach in the MLS. I don't know what the hell has happened, but to me, by far and away, the biggest disappointment over the last month and a half has been Charlotte, and just overall first half of the year. from what I expected from Charlotte, I think that it's really disappointing. I think right now they're out of the playoffs. They are currently
Playing.
No, they're in 8th.
They're in the play-in. They
Yeah.
are currently in the play-on, and
versus NYCFC at this moment
and New England and Chicago are both behind them
with 2 games in hand.
by 2 and 3 points with 2 games in hand. Like Charlotte's in a tough spot. I'm really disappointed in Charlotte. So to me, that is the biggest.
And New England is on the climb up. They've been doing better over the past couple weeks,
which was surprising to me because the way they started. Yes. Now, Will, do you think that everybody drank the Atlanta Kool-Aid? Because I never thought that Atlanta would be that great. And we had that discussion in the preview show. I didn't think they would be that great. I thought they would end up like 5th or 6th. Do you think it was because they eliminated Inter Miami? Because I feel like that's when everybody got really high on Atlanta.
Well, I think that one of the biggest things, I want to touch on Charlotte because I have a theory why they're kind of struggling. But as far as Atlanta, I think the reason why they're not doing as well is because the team that beat Miami isn't really the team of what we're seeing today. They added a bunch of different new pieces that just really haven't meshed together. They got rid of the coach who beat Miami, Rob Valentino, hired Ronnie Dyla, who total disaster, was not the right move. And a lot of fans, I don't want to say wanted to keep Rob Valentino because they were kind of skeptical. Anytime you have an interim coach, it's not the sexy hire, right? You want to go get the big fish. You want to try to get the best coach you can get. But I mean, the guy beat Tata Martino. They beat him in a 3-game series. It wasn't a 1-game fluke. I mean, they beat them. You know, we try to forget about that at the battered herons, right? But we're bringing it to the battered MLS. But it feels like every move that they've made has been the wrong move. It feels like every move they've made has been the wrong move. And you know, Miguel Almiron was the club legend. He was the first DP they ever signed. They brought him back. He's 30 years old. I think he just turned 31 actually, but they was 30 when they brought him back. He's not been good.
Well, he's been playing out wide. He's playing out wide.
He played out wide for Newcastle. He played more as a winger or right midfielder. But in MLS, he's just so fast, and he's just a step above everybody in quality. You're kind of wasting him out wide. He's better in the middle. He's better as a 10. But you can't play him there because Miranchuk is also a 10. You paid $12 million for him. You just got too many mouths to feed, and it just doesn't. Yeah. Miranchuk's got to go. And then, like I said earlier, could you imagine how would you Miami fans feel if you went out and spent $30 million on a striker and he had 6 goals or 7 goals in the 2025 season halfway through the year?
No, look, in Miami, people are killing Luis Suarez, and he's on a TAM deal, and people are killing him. So imagine somebody on a $30 million deal. No, absolutely. But everybody questioned the Latte. Okay, well, I think we had this conversation last time, and I brought up Latte, Denke, and Zaha, and I said, which of the 3 do you think is playing best? I said Denke at the time. I can't remember what you said. Well, I don't know if you agreed with me or not, but who do you think at this point is playing best? And I'll ask you, Chris, also, out of those 3.
Say the names one more time.
Denke, Zaha, and Latte.
Oh, Denke by far.
Yeah, Denke for
by
sure.
far.
Yeah, and Latte has been disappointing, and I thought Zaha has also. So it's been surprising, but we brought up the disappointments. What's your biggest surprise?
Can I touch on Charlotte just real quick?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to mention this. I think Charlotte's biggest issue is they're a good defensive team. They just can't score goals. I can't remember if you were high on Ajimong. I don't think he's that good. He's okay, but he can't be the guy. Like, I think last year's Leo Campana is a way better player than Patrick Ajimong, and that was your guy's backup striker, and he's way better than Ajimong. Until they get a true DP striker and can score some goals, this team's not going anywhere because Zaha is underperforming now that we can look halfway through the season, or if he's hurt and not playing at all. Pep Biel is good, but who's he feeding? Who is he setting up? Yeah, Abada, he's okay too, but he's kind of disappointed. Like I don't know how you guys feel about DP wingers, or DPs in general, but like when you're signing a guy to that kind of contract, he's got to be clear above everyone else. He's got to be getting double-digit goals, double-digit assists, especially if he's an attacker every single season. And I don't think Abada's only got like 2 assists this year.
Well, when you have people like Biel and Zaha behind him, like, I mean, you need to produce a little bit more. Go ahead, Danny.
Who do you think is leading the team in goals? Charlotte.
It's probably Ajimong, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have double. How many does he have? Like low, mid?
6.
6.
Yeah, 6. And Albada and Biel are right behind them with 5.
That's terrible for 17 games into the season. That's terrible.
Pep Biel has 7
with
assists.
5. Wow.
Yeah, Pep Biel has 7 assists. Pep Biel's a beast. Yeah. If they can get a striker, I mean, and Kalina, didn't Kalina get benched last weekend?
I think he did. Yeah, Bingham started. Yeah, David Bingham.
Oh, that's not good.
I didn't look into why that was, and I usually hit up Danny Bram so he can give me the 4-on-1 on that. I don't know why he got benched. Somebody knows in the chat, but things are not looking good in Charlotte, and I felt like they've disappointed, unfortunately. So biggest surprise, would it be for you, Will, Philadelphia? Because I know when I said that I predicted that they were going to be top of the East, well, top 4 in the East, you thought that I was crazy, and right now they're number 1. Is that your biggest surprise?
So I'm not going to do the cop-out answer and say Vancouver, because after what we saw this weekend, they have fallen down so far on my list. I think they're frauds.
Just because they're frauds. Because they got their ass kicked by Cruz Azul?
Yeah, well, they didn't get their ass kicked. They got beat down, and I think they're dead. I think they're dead. I don't even think they made the trip back yet. That was embarrassing. 5-0.
Actually, I don't think they have. They literally haven't.
They're sick.
No, they came back sick. They came back sick.
Okay, so they are still alive. They have a pulse, but that's it. They got absolutely beat down. I think they're frauds. Yeah, Philadelphia is good, but I want to be a little different. I think a team I didn't expect to be as good as what they are is Nashville SC. Nashville SC has a lot of the
teams I was going to pick.
They got a lot of the core same guys, and the only difference is they got a new coach, BJ Callahan. He's really good. He's got Hani Mukhtar playing better than he has in the last 2 years. He's got Sam Surridge at like 11 goals this year, which is what a DP should be doing up top, getting in that double digits halfway through the season. And think about that. Sam Surridge, $7 million striker, $23 million less, championship guy, has 4 or 5 more goals than Emmanuel Latte-Lot. That's absolutely crazy to think about. But yes, Nashville SC, they're right in the thick of things. They're only, 5 points out of first place. And they really haven't brought anybody in, made any significant signings, anything really crazy. I did not expect that, honestly. But I want to say there's a lot of surprise teams in 2025. A lot of surprise teams.
And Danny, I don't know if you remember, but when we did the preview in the beginning of the season, I had mentioned that Nashville was going to be one of the teams to watch for in the West. I'm gonna go as far as a surprise for me. I'm gonna end up going with San Diego FC. Even though I said that they were gonna be high, I didn't think that they'd be in second place. Kind of like I mentioned in the beginning of the episode with the kind of players that they have. They've been killing it really on the West.
Well, and this isn't my surprise team, but you killed me when I said Seattle would be one of the top teams. Are you surprised that Seattle's managed to come back into relevancy?
No, the collapse will happen soon. The Club World Cup.
They're the Steelers, man. They are the Steelers. I'm telling you.
The Club World Cup will break them down.
No, man. I don't know, man. I think the Steelers are just. I mean, not the Steelers. The Seattle's like the Steelers. It's wild to me. Yeah. I was gonna say Nashville, much like you. I guess I could say Columbus. I thought Columbus would be a lot worse once they lost Cucho and Christian Ramirez. They still haven't filled that striker role, and they've managed to kind of just draw just about every game they play. Guy. Yeah, no, he's not. And but Columbus have managed to stay alive. Before that beatdown by Miami, they were looking like one of the top teams in the East. So Columbus, to me, has been a big surprise also. Greg Berhalter, are you still hating on Greg Berhalter, and you're happy that he's out of the playoffs right now?
I mean, I'm indifferent. I mean, I still think they'll make the playoffs. They'll probably sneak in, see what they do in the summer. They're willing to spend money, which obviously helps you out, right? It's just a matter of who they can land. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne was a guy they were trying to get, and I know Miami was somewhat interested in him as well. They weren't able to get him. Miami wasn't able to get him. He's going to Napoli. I don't know who they're going to sign, but they have to add some pieces. They're right in the thick of things. The Eastern Conference is just a bar fight, guys. It's just an absolute all-out brawl. I mean, look how many teams are within a couple points of each other. I mean, this weekend, this whole entire playoff race could shift with just 1 week. There's several teams within margin of each other. Between
3 and 10, it's 6 points, which is basically 2 wins between 3 and 10. That is tight.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Miami's only played 15 games, right? Or they played 16 now?
16.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, New England has 2 games in hand, so they can move up quickly.
Yeah.
Which is surprising to me because I didn't expect that. And I know Chris likes to give the credit to Campana for some reason, but
Hey, it's
Campana
good to
has
have
not
a
been
front man. It's good to have a front man, Danny.
Yeah, they have. I forgot the kid's name that's with him. He's got the.
He has that
right
man
now.
bun.
No,
You're talking about the guy with the man bun.
no. But so far, Philadelphia top in the East, Cincinnati second, Miami third, Nashville fourth, Columbus fifth, Red Bulls, Orlando. I'm surprised that they aren't higher. I thought that Orlando has also come on. They've been playing well. I know they had that tough stretch where they didn't score for like 3 or 4 games, but I thought Orlando has been playing pretty well. But all in all, Philly is a pretender. No, did I say Philly's a pretender? You know what? That's true. I came on here and I did call them a pretender because they traded Gazdag.
Yeah,
I thought that they would. I thought that they would regret trading Gazdag, and I was completely wrong. And I also think most underrated player in the league right now, Will, who would you say?
Most underrated player in the league right now. Man, that's a tough one.
Chris, do you have one? I'll tell you who mine is. And Chris, you tell me. You got one?
I mean, as far as like most underrated player in this league, I don't know, man, because that's like a very loaded question. There's like a bunch of players.
I'm gonna say Quinn Sullivan.
Okay.
I think Quinn Sullivan doesn't get the credit for Philadelphia being as high as they are right now. I think everybody goes Ty Baribo.
That's a good one, though.
And I think Quinn Sullivan is an unsung hero on that team. So just a random thought that came to me when I was about to talk about Philly. Quinn Sullivan, to me, is an unsung hero. And I think that he doesn't get as much credit. It's got to be tough with Cavan's your brother.
Yeah. I think I would go with a guy who's really flourished this year with his team, and you could say maybe this is why they lost because of him in the Champions Cup final. I think Sebastian Berhalter's been super good this year. Like, I think he's been the best.
Another one.
He's been the best player on their team this year. Yeah, been the best player for Vancouver this year. Now, I do want to say, even if he played, I don't think they still would have won. I think they still probably would have. I don't think he would have been a 5-goal swing. I mean, I don't think he's not that good, right? But he's pretty damn good. Like, I think he's been the best USMNT player in a Major League Soccer in 2025.
Fair. And I love that because we had this discussion not too long ago about unappreciated players, and Sebastian Berhalter was another one that we were mentioning. You gonna say something, Chris?
Yeah, I was gonna give you who I think is probably Mihailovic from Colorado. Is probably one of the most underrated players.
And that's another disappointing team because I thought that they'd be doing better, and they've fallen off quite a bit also. But Mihailovic, and there's Sean Callahan reading your mind. Mihailovic also is a great player. So moving forward, do you sense that there's going to be any drastic change with any of these teams? I know you said the East is loaded. So, for example, Charlotte, do you think that they will eventually wake up and move up, or is this Charlotte what we're seeing now?
Well, Charlotte's always struggled to bring in their top target. They always kind of have to settle for a DP. Like Pep Biel was not the guy. He was the C option. They were trying to bring in.
What I like about Charlotte is that they're always ambitious. They try.
No, they try. Yeah. They definitely try, but they don't always. I mean, they never normally land their first preference, or first choice. But last year they were close to signing some. I forgot his name off the top of my mind or head, but he's a PSV guy. He was like 25, 26 years old. He was like he's a hybrid 10/winger, very good player, but he had some knee issues and the deal fell through. But that dude would have been a baller in Major League Soccer, absolute baller, and it fell through. So they signed Pep Biel as kind of like a backup option. I don't know if Charlotte are going to be able to land the striker, even if they're. I mean, that's what I think they should do, but I don't know if that's what they think they should do. Maybe they're delusional and think Haji Mung's the guy. I mean, he is leading the team in scoring. It's not many goals. I'm going to be, we talked a little bit about this pre-show. I think, LAFC and Miami have a rare opportunity to be able to bring in good players a month and a half early with the Club World Cup. And we haven't heard anything yet about who they're bringing. Like, we've heard rumors about one guy. We haven't seen any movement yet. We only got 5 days left for them to bring some players in. those guys have a rare opportunity to get some dudes in here early, acclimate them to the team. Because think some of these teams aren't going to be able to bring players in until July, and then they're going to have to wait for them to get acclimated to the team. LAFC and Inter Miami, I'm just disregarding Seattle. They're not going to sign anybody. They're not doing shit. They're not going to do anything.
What does Seattle do?
You expect this? You expect Seattle to crumble, the whole city?
They're crumbling. Yeah, they're going to fold like a chair, dude. They're terrible. They're not ambitious. They don't spend money. I had a guy on my show, Nico Moreno. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's with Pulso Sports. He covers Seattle.
He's Colombian, right?
He's Colombian. Yes.
Yeah.
He came on my show and I said, what happened to Seattle? They don't have any ambition anymore. I said, what happened? This is a team that signed Clint Dempsey in 2013. They spent $9 million on. That's crazy for Major League Soccer in 2013. And he said, this team was never ambitious. They just gave that impression, but they never were. He says that Seattle would rather overpay for Albert Rusnak as a DP number 10 than have to take a chance of losing him and go spend a transfer fee and get another player. They would rather get the guy who's already on the team and overpay for him. When he told me that shit, I was like, okay, they are fucked. If that's the mentality we're rocking with, it's over. It's over. There's no team winning when they think like that.
Yeah.
Look, they're always what was the last team that won the Champions Cup? Seattle. They're the Steelers. Different. I'm telling you, they're the Steelers. And that was the only season that they haven't made the playoffs in like the last million years. I'm telling you, Seattle.
When was the last time they won the MLS Cup?
The year before that, no?
2019.
Ooh. Yeah, it was the year before that.
We won 2022. Champions Cup was 22.
Oh, you sure it wasn't 2019?
No, it's Pumas 2022.
Oh. Okay, I thought it was 2019. But Seattle is like the Steelers to me, and I trust that Seattle will be in it at some point. But I don't think they're going to be falling off. A team that I expect to pick it up. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, is it too late for LA Galaxy?
Yes.
It's too late for them? You think it's too late? It looks a little more open on the West.
No, they're broken.
Yeah, let's see. The 9th seed in the West right now has 20 points. The Galaxy have 7.
Yeah.
And they don't have any games in hand.
And they can't sign anybody. They don't have any money.
They don't have any money.
It. They're completely cooked this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're done. Well done.
They are more than done. Do you think that there's any chance that they get Ronaldo? And I don't think that Ronaldo's coming, but do you think that there was any chance that Ronaldo was going to come over here to LA?
I think there's a better chance you guys sign him than they do, and I don't think you have any chance.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I told everybody I think there's more of a chance of Ronaldo coming than Modric because I knew that Modric wasn't coming.
I absolutely think that it would be dangerous and a potential disaster if Inter Miami signs Ronaldo.
Yes,
because that would show that this is just a show. Like, this is a movie now. Like, don't care about this league. We're just literally going to flash these guys in your face and retain you only for the next year or two.
No, he would be for 3 months. If you sign within the next 10 days in this little mini window, they're allowing the teams to sign players for just 3 months.
I think it would be a disaster if Ronaldo comes over here.
It'd be like a novelty, just a bunch of guys past their prime, most of them just trying to relive the good old days.
I was honestly hoping that Ronaldo would end up on the Galaxy just so I can sell the tickets to that game because they're supposed to come down and play in Miami. Could you imagine the prices for a Galaxy versus Inter Miami, Ronaldo versus Messi, and we got front row seats? My seats are row 1. I could sell those tickets for.
We could pay off our whole season ticket year
for next year.
Yeah, I mean,
for the new stadium.
Yeah, what a disaster.
Well, and also too, you guys would much rather have Messi than Ronaldo. You don't want to take a chance of having him in this team and just causing unrepairable damage. Being an asshole, which he can be, right? Ronaldo's always been known to be kind of not the best teammate. And he's very cliquey too. Like when he gets into the locker room, he's kind of like divides the locker room.
I always I never thought that Messi would want to play with him, even though I think it would be really cool just to see, just for the spectacle of watching, since historically them one versus the other, to see them on the same team. I thought it would be cool just to see, but because it would be on the team that I root for, I would want to see it. Do you think that And I was gonna have no, you know what? I'll say it because I was just gonna have a show just based off of the Messi effect because I think people thought that we'd get more big names by now.
Yeah.
But I'll just save that for another time.
Yeah.
MVP first half of the season. Will, do you have an MVP for the first half of the season right now?
It's tough.
And why is it Messi?
Messi's definitely re-entering. I said that. I actually said, I mean, he's playing himself back into it. I think that, you know, if it was going to be Messi, it'd be Kevin Danke because he's been really good and Evander's close too. They're both been really good with Cincinnati, but they're playing really well. They've been a game changer for the team. But Messi just feels like it's an uphill battle for anyone, not just because of what he's doing on the pitch, because of who he is. You know, we know that if Messi's got the stats, the league wants him to be the MVP. And if I'm not mistaken, if he wins this year, he might be the first. I think he might be the first player in the history of the league to win back-to-back MVPs. I think he would be.
That never happened before?
I don't think it has. Maybe it has once, but only one time. I'll have to look that up and see. But I think he would be the first player in MLS history to win back-to-back MVPs. I think MLS didn't really want to give back-to-back MVPs back in the day because they wanted to like get someone else's name out instead of just looking like one player dominated the league. Messi would be the first player. He'd be the first player ever to win back-to-back MVPs, and he would only be he'd only be the second player to win the MVP twice. Preki won it in 97 and 2003, so he would be the first one to win it twice and the first one to win it, or the second one to win it twice and the first one to win it back-to-back.
I guess I could have this conversation here a little more open because this is battered MLS fans. Do you think it was odd that Messi won Player of the Month,
even though he only had a good week and change?
That was a crazy week, though, right? Technically, it was 2 games, right? It was 2 games, so it's kind of a little different. Normally, a month only has
the free kick. No, because there's 7 games. That's the thing. Because this month there was 7 games this month for most teams.
Yeah.
And
well, how many didn't he have like 7 goal contributions
total for the month?
Yeah, or was it 8?
It might have been 8, but I believe 5 of them came in the last week.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't look around to see what the other candidates were, but I was really surprised that he got it because not only did he not statistically, because I did think he played well, but statistically he didn't get as much the first 3 weeks. But I also thought the team didn't play well the first 3 weeks of May, right? They had a rough go. So,
yeah, I'm gonna go with Anders Dreyer.
Yeah, he's good.
Because he's been really good. He's had a lot of goal contributions recently. So to me, Andrew Dryers is probably going to be the best. I was going to go with Evander, but at the same time, I think it's for the first year for San Diego, especially to be in second place at this point. I think he would be a formidable MVP choice.
Okay, so I was going to go Dreyer, but you went there. I was going to go Evander. Right. You went there. It's easy to go Messi, so I won't go there. I'm going to go
Honey Mustard.
Probably would never win. No, not Honey Mustard. No, I don't even think he's the MVP of his team. I would go Quinn Sullivan. I know he'll never win. I know Ty Baribo will probably get that if Philadelphia were to get an MVP. But like I said, I think that he's underrated, and I think that he doesn't get enough credit. I'm going to go Quinn Sullivan for the contributions to Philadelphia.
I was going to go him too. He's a sleeper, but that's a good choice.
So who does your twin have? Who's your twin got us winning, Danny?
Who do you got? Messi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Safe pick, right?
Messi.
Safe pick. Yeah, Ty Baribo does deserve some flowers because Philly is the number 1 in the East, right now.
Yes.
They looked really good. And then I feel like if you score the most goals in the league, and then your team is also first place in the league, you're going to get that MVP. You're going to get that MVP.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, too, think about that for Major League Soccer. They'd be able to say, like, even though Messi had a crazy season, and he is he's starting to turn it up at the right time, right? They would love to, like, have this guy no one's really heard of outside of Major League Soccer say, yeah, Messi had a good season, but this guy, He led the league in goals, and Philadelphia was the first team in the Eastern Conference. So if Messi's good, check this guy out, even though they're not even comparable. But they like to do shit like that.
I think she's confused because she's seeing me in two places at one time. She's like, "What?
Wait, how's he? Why am I there too?"
She's bugging out big time.
Yeah, because she keeps looking back at me. Quinn Sullivan. Yeah. We're in. Yeah, look, Quinn Sullivan, 2 goals, 7 assists, and I feel like he's been underrated. But Ty Baribo, like you said, if he's leading the league in goals, and they are still, but I don't think they're gonna stay in first place. That's the thing. But as of right now, I would say Ty Baribo is fair. But like I said, I would give it to Quinn Sullivan. And way too early. MLS. Well, you know what? Leagues Cup. Do you care about Leagues Cup, Will? Because I know that you've talked bad about it in the past.
No, not at all. I'm done with it. I can't. Because think about it. And this is what I talked to you about when I can't remember if it was me, you and Favi, or me, you and Tommy. We did something about the schedule, right? Yeah. We're literally going to have the Gold Cup, the Club World Cup, where we got 3 MLS teams. It's going to be a month of tournament. Do we really want to turn around and do another month tournament? I can't. I mean, that's just so. And it's not like it's once a week.
But at least it's weekdays now.
Yeah, but still, it's just so much. It's so much, and they're doing it during the season too, right? They're going to do both at the same time. That's just too much.
It is a lot.
It is.
Just you can't breathe. And I know that you like the tradition of soccer in the summer. Both of you guys probably do like to go to a game. But damn, man, you got to have some time to yourself too. It's just like they crowd the whole entire schedule in the summer. 2 games a week every week. It's just so much. That's expensive.
They killed me though because, for example, because of the Club World Cup, I'm not going to pay you to go to that thing. So I'm not going to get any home games until July. So
yeah.
And then if you do go to the Leagues Cup, the parking is like 3 times the amount than what it actually is normally.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw. Did you guys see that Club World Cup? The average ticket for the opening game, Miami versus Al Ahly, was $365 to get in, and now it's down to $55.
I saw the prices were dropping. I didn't know that though.
But drastically, it was a drastic drop. Now a lot of people are like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you have Real Madrid it's selling out. Juventus is selling out. Let's be very clear. Very clear. South Florida the Messi effect has come and gone. We see him on a regular basis. So why on earth in South Florida would you pay top dollar to see him in a huge stadium where the view is probably a lot worse for a lot more money? When we see him literally on a weekly basis you could get tickets for like $20-$30 nowadays, and we see him on a weekly basis. So no, it has nothing to do with, put Ronaldo in a game and everybody's going to go watch him. No, it's just that we've seen Messi now so long, and that game is in Miami. So, if Ronaldo were to come, he'd sell out. Like, shut up, because nobody ever sees him. It's different. So,
I want to mention something. Sagdad is asking CWC doing free broadcasts. The only place I was able to find out where you can watch Club World Cup is on DAZN Network.
And Fanatis.
So, that's the only place I've been able to find it. I don't know if they're going to make it available anywhere else, but so far that's the only place I was able to find it.
The Club World Cup?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the Zone. They got the exclusive rights. They're going to do all the games.
And I know we haven't decided if we're going to do any watch-alongs, but I know Will will be doing them, so make sure you catch them with Will. If it's into Miami, we might be. If we're not, Will's going to be doing them. And for sure, if you want to catch LAFC, I know he hates Seattle, so he probably won't be doing Seattle. But LAFC, he'll be doing watch-alongs also. So go ahead and make sure that you don't miss that.
No Seattle games, none. We'd be done in 10 minutes. It'd be 4-0, and everybody's time's wasted, and then I'm trapped there.
Could you imagine when Seattle ends up going further than both LAFC and Miami?
Oh my goodness! And then you have to do it. It's gonna be misery.
I've got one of my friends is a big Seattle fan, and I told him, he said, "How far do you think they'll make it?" And I said, "I don't think you guys are gonna score a goal. All 3 games.
Oh my goodness!
No games, no goal. They got to play Atletico Madrid, PSG, and Botafogo. I mean, they have the worst. They have the hardest group. They have the hardest group by far.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And do you think LAFC or Miami have any hope of moving on?
I think they would have if they'd made some moves. I mean, your guys' backline still scares the hell out of me, and Ustari is really. Here's the thing too about you guys. Like, yes, their attack is playing better because Javier Mastro's got his head out of his ass, and he's actually playing a style that's better for the attack. But the defense is so bad that if you tried doing some of this stuff against, remind me, you guys play Palmeiras, and is it Benfica or Porto? It's Porto, right?
Porto.
Yeah. You're not going to have any leeway with those teams. Like, if you have an error, they're going to capitalize on it. Like, so they've got to play really good in the back line, and they got to get some speed, man. Brian Rodriguez I'm not a fan of his. We talked about that on the phone the other day. Danny, like, I still think they could do better, but he would be speed on the flank. They just got to add some pieces, man. None of these three teams in MLS are ready to go. They're not ready to play in the Club World Cup.
I do think that LAFC has a better group to be able to get out of than people imagine, because the only competition I see there is Chelsea. I mean, Flamengo is a big team, but I think LAFC is competitive enough that they can get out of that group.
I think Flamengo won Copa Libertadores. Was it last year?
Botafogo. Yeah, they won it 2 years ago. Botafogo won it last year. Yeah. So yeah, I think they could.
This tournament isn't made for MLS teams.
No.
We're there just to be a part of it, but this isn't made for MLS teams. The hope for Miami fans, at least, is that they beat that first team from Egypt somehow, which we were talking to Michelle Kaufman on here, and she says she knows somebody that covers the Egyptian league, and she said they're counting down to this game.
They're good.
And they're signing players for this tournament. Like, they are not taking this line down. So anybody that's going in as an Inter Miami fan and saying, "Oh, well, we have a chance against this random team," no, this team is the best in that area, and they are taking this very seriously. They're signing players for it. Well, so
another Seattle Sounders straight. 2023, the Seattle Sounders played in the Club World Cup. So did Al Ahly because they won the AFCON. They beat Seattle 3-0 in the Club World Cup in 2023. They beat the hell out of them.
Well, according to Seattle's always cooked, so don't.
We know they're well done. Yeah, it's bad, but I think you guys could play better. I think that Miami has the best chance, just because they got more resources to spend. If they do it, they got more resources to spend. So we'll see what happens. I just don't like. They've known when did they get announced they were going to be in the Club World Cup? Was it 2024? It was last year, right? It wasn't the beginning of 2025. I think it was last year.
It was after the Supporter Shield.
After the Supporter Shield, right. So they've had all this time to prepare. They've got all this money we've heard of. Like, they got like $2.5 million in GAM right now. What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for?
Neymar's at the U.S. Embassy, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's going to fix their issues. That's what I said, and this is what Chris said earlier about signing Ronaldo. I'm telling you right now, I tweeted this. If they had signed Luka Modric, a 40-year-old midfielder, I'm telling you, the fix would be in. We know what this team is. They are a novelty. Let me just sell my tickets. I don't give a damn about results. I'm just trying to get the gang back together and just have some fun. Which Modric never played with them, but they played against each other or whatever.
Yeah.
They need to go sign a young dude, 24, 25 years old in their prime, and go spend a bag on him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, one bold prediction for the rest of the second half of the season. I'll start with Will and then Chris. One bold prediction.
Okay. Before the end of the season, we will have the most fired coaches ever in a season in Major League Soccer. I think we're already at 4 or 5 right now, and it's the summer. I think we'll have the most ever in a season. I think that's going to be a continuing trend where more and more coaches get fired before the season ends and after the season because they're expecting them to do better. And you mentioned this earlier about LA Galaxy. I haven't even talked to either one of you guys about this. How would you guys feel at Miami? It doesn't matter who's injured. If you guys were on a 15-game winless streak and you extended your coach to a new contract, what would the fan base be thinking about that? 15 winless, 4 points in 15 games.
They'd blow up the place up like Seattle style.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Chad, I think that's what it's called, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you, Danny. My bold prediction is, I think that the Philadelphia Union are gonna win the Supporters Shield. I don't know how bold that is, but I think that they're gonna be I think that they're going to be the best team in the league.
My bold prediction: Vancouver will not end up in the top 4 in the Western Conference.
Nope.
Ooh, okay.
They're going to drop out of the top 4.
So you agree they're phonies, frauds?
I don't want to say phonies, but they're not as good as they've started the season off. I don't think.
Well, they don't have any stars. They got a bunch of guys overperforming.
Ryan Gauld is eventually,
and he didn't even play this whole year though. That's what I like. The core of the team has been a bunch of dudes who just overperformed and play better than they really are. Mm-hmm. And I just when you compare them to the stars, yeah, they can. And also we know this with Miami. When Vancouver beat Miami 5-2 on aggregate in the semifinals, it broke them for a little bit. They didn't win a game for like what 3 or 4 matches. Imagine what this is going to do to Cruz Azul. I remember when Columbus lost to Pachuca last year, it broke them for a little bit. I mean, that could really mess if you lose 5-0 in a championship game, that can really mess your confidence up.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Well, Will, as always, we appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. Let everybody know where they can find you. I'm sure they know where, but just in case.
Yeah, I'm at MLS Moves on X and on YouTube. I got some Club World Cup content coming out. I'm going to do 2 live streams or the 2 teams, LAFC and Inter Miami, no Seattle Sounders ever. I might hop on a show to make fun of them with my friend because he's doing them, sadly. I will jump on there and make fun of them afterwards, but I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste your time. Not wasting anybody's time. And hell, they might not even play because of the protests. We need to talk about that. That was kind of crazy thing too. But
they're going to play.
Yeah, they'll play. But yeah, you can follow me at MLS Moves. I've actually got Alexi Lawless coming on tomorrow. We're going to preview the Gold Cup for USMNT and the Club World Cup. So make sure you check that out.
Chris, any final words?
This is going to be a nice week to watch, especially since Inter Miami is not playing this week. So it's going to be a nice chill week to watch some MLS soccer. So I'm looking forward to it.
Not many matches, but yeah, for sure. It's all about the international soccer. Colombia plays tomorrow. Yes. Argentina's playing right now. And Argentina plays Colombia next Tuesday, so that should be fun for me.
Yes.
All right. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you are watching on YouTube, if you're watching all the way to the end, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friend. And as always, for those of you in the chat, we appreciate you hanging out with us the last 43 minutes. We'll be back next week talking some Club World Cup. So until the next one, have a good one.